Is China potentially a destination now for investment in your mind?
Not yet. I don't see really, I don't know, where's the rainbow? I don't really see it at this point. You have the real estate sector that's being accused. Certain people are being accused of fraud. You have real estate prices under pressure. You have China becoming even more nationalistic in terms of the type of goods that they use, for example, in government computers, like you just mentioned. So I think that right now, philosophy still is more important than financials at this point. So I don't see it. I get asked this all the time as someone who has been to China a zillion times, talking to Chinese government officials, talking to Chinese business leaders. Um, to be really honest, and I don't want to get in trouble with the Chinese government here, they're not very optimistic when they really talk off the record. So I just, you're going to get China anyway. If you buy multinationals, you're getting China, right? Is it time for dedicated investment in China? I don't know. I guess you could say it's gone down a lot. Maybe that's a reason to buy, but what's the reason for it to go up? I don't see it yet.
See, that's interesting, and I don't want to, obviously, like you mentioned, get you in trouble, but I would also suggest that, you're suggesting that off the record they don't necessarily have a sense of optimism, and even officially they don't necessarily have the most optimism
Yeah,
as well.
true.
Otherwise, you don't have to engage in all of that stimulus. But what would it then take? Would it take those conversations that you're having turning? Would it take better economic data? Or the one thing that you mentioned that I suppose plays into the geopol and sentiment in a sense is just the way in which China is run is often something that, people that when they're conducting their risk assessments go,
That's the issue.
maybe not.
That's
So
really
for
the
you,
issue.
is that issue?
It is the issue. I mean, look what happened to some of the Chinese technology stocks that were asked to so-called contribute to certain funds out of the blue that came out of their cash reserves or came out of their earnings. It was just a mandate. It wasn't. It was like, okay, we're going to decide to do this. I mean, what you don't really know what arrow is coming out of the forest at you at any given time, and I think in that kind of environment, it's very, very difficult to hang your hat on the numbers because you just don't know if one day they're going to announce that tutoring schools need to be shut down because it's impacting people negatively, or no more gaming anymore. We're just arbitrarily going to shut this down. They can't play more than X hours. These kind of, I don't know, I guess to me they're philosophical decisions have financial impact, and it doesn't seem like anybody cares about that. And all you have to do is look at stock prices to see the rest of the world is kind of looking at what's happening in China, and it's just hard to really plant a flag in what's really going to happen in a month or a year. I mean, honestly, what really will happen in a year? Is there going to be even more nationalistic efforts? It's hard to say.